What's the darkest family secret you uncovered by your studies? This is on the Geneaology subreddit. Number 1. I think I'm my family's darkest secret that hasn't been discovered yet. LOL, I'm adopted and people are going to start noticing eventually. Story 2. My dad he was adopted in 1961 out of wedlock. He found his mother in 2005 and she wrote back and said that due to the stress caused by receiving his letter, she had to tell her husband of 30 years. She died in 2008. We sent his biological sister a letter telling her last week. Story 3. My grandfather was the son of a millionaire. His father died when he was still a toddler. Then my grandfather and siblings were put in a government orphanage where they suffered a lot. Their mother was brought to a poor house where she died shortly after arriving from Plumona, and my great-grandfather's uncle somehow inherited everything. Ugh, I hate when stuff like that happens. It's always some family fuckery. Story 4. I was adopted in 1999, but I have been digging into my biological ancestry over the last year or so. My biological maternal grandfather divorced my grandmother in the late 70s to early 80s, not the dark secret. He remarried a woman not long after, in the mid-80s. They had 3 kids together. In 1988, she snuffed her youngest son in his sleep. In 1989, she did the same thing to his older brother. She was convicted in 1991 of murdering both of her sons and attempting to murder her oldest child, an 8-year-old girl, by throwing a hairdryer in the tub while she was in the bath. The girl survived and was put into protective custody. Too long didn't read. My maternal step-grandmother murdered her 2 sons and attempted to murder her daughter. She is serving 2 life sentences in prison with no possibility of parole. Edit. There is evidently an episode of Deadly Woman that tells her story. Season 7, episode 6. I know there's been a book or 2 about her as well. Also, if you're enjoying this so far, stick around because you'll be seeing a lot more videos just like this. Story 5. One of my uncles was always a quiet guy, liked telling jokes, very kind guy. He married my aunt, my dad's sister, and always seemed to take the side of the family with a big grain of salt, as they were obnoxious morons. I was always surprised at how well he handled being around them and didn't let their ignorant humor and overall behavior get to him. One Christmas Eve, we were all at my grandma's house. This uncle was there, but unusually quiet. Found out later after going home he passed away from an aneurysm. When I started the family tree stuff, I thought about looking up his family as he never said much about them to me. I found newspaper articles about his father who had beat on his first wife until she divorced him. He married again and they had 2 sons, one being my uncle. The father resumed his abuse of the second wife until she couldn't take it anymore. She met him in the hallway of the home with a gun and killed him. Both teenage sons were home and witnessed it. Mom went through a highly publicized court trial and due to everyone hating her husband, got a minor suspended sentence. I imagine after living through that, not much would shock him. I felt bad that he had to quietly live with such a horrible secret. Story 6. There is a woman my age on 23andMe who shares the same maternal grandmother as me, but I've known my aunts and uncles and their kids my whole life. They all have boys. I can't message her since I'm not premium, but I'd love to figure out how the hell I have a secret first cousin. My maternal grandfather was Clint Eastwood's drill sergeant in WW2 and said some very libelous things about Mr. Eastwood in an unauthorized biography that led to an expansive defamation suit. We have a copy of the book, of course. Allegedly, my paternal grandmother had an affair with the star of a classic 60s British action series that I don't want to get sued for naming, and that she had the pregnancy terminated. Oh, goodness. This one I'm proud of. My great uncle was also in the military. He was commissioned by his superior to write a short poem honoring one of the majors who was retiring. If you read the poem as is, it's a beautiful tribute to a war veteran. If you read the first letter of each line, it says, "Major name is a major asshole." That is effing brilliant. Way to use your mind, sir. Story 7. Partially discovered by my studies, but a family member who I did once know, but has passed away at a very old age. She was a very nice person, always sent me birthday presents, but I always knew there was something in her past. I pick up bits and pieces, like I can't believe her husband stayed with her and she's not all there mentally. After browsing newspaper websites and finally searching her correct name, as I had always known her as a shortened version of her name, I found front page newspaper articles of her double murder court case. Oh my god. And being sent to my country's most notorious facility for criminals who are also not mentally well. This side of my family is very small. There's nobody out there to ask anymore about it, so it was quite the discovery. The whole family, as small as it was, all welcomed her back into their life once she was released and lived a happy, normal life with her husband. Okay, OP, can I get a name? Yeah, let's do a little research. We probably don't want us getting all into that anyway. Hold on. What? Okay, so they asked in the comment, so what'd she do? She murdered 2 people by suffocating them and then tried to kill herself but was stopped. I don't know if it was a breakdown or a really bad mental episode, but she did obviously get better and lived a normal life. That's rough, man. Story 8. My second great-grandfather axe murdered my second great-grandmother and their baby. Another child of theirs went missing prior to the murders. My great-grandfather was the only child to survive, only because his mom's brother took him in from the house a couple weeks before it happened. This kind of sounds like the Christmas massacre, which I did an entire video on that on my other channel, Creepy Cassetti. You can go check it out. But there was a father, and I don't remember where, it was somewhere in the US. He was a farmer, and one day he just went completely nuts, butchered his entire freaking family, and it was just a mess. Like, you would be surprised how often this sort of thing happens, and it's really terrible. Story 9. An absolute monster of a 7 times great uncle, one of the earliest Quaker settlers in the US, beat and murdered an enslaved woman that he owned, yet was found innocent because she was difficult and stubborn. Okay. I linked every story I could find to his profile, added a profile photo using the headline, and changed his name suffix to murder of an enslaved woman. Hell yeah, LP! Get it! It's not much, it doesn't offer redress, but bloody hell, everyone related to this waste of skin needs to know and remember. A few people have messaged me asking for reading about early US Quakers and slave ownership. I'm not a historian on this topic, but here are a few sources I found, some of which cite the evil uncle, John Wills of Burlington, New Jersey. I am not fucking surprised. And I swear I'm not coming at New Jerseyans. I'm actually a New Yorker. I don't live in New York right now, but I was born there, and I've had some situations, so I'm not surprised. Some are academic journals behind expensive paywalls, but you can read the abstracts and chapter synopsis. Here's the court record for John Will's crimes, trial, and acquittal. It's on pages 56 and 57 in the document, so 124 pages down in the PDF. Content warning, violence. The witness accounts are graphic and upsetting. I'm gonna include these links in the description box below if you want to do more research, but there's multiple links here, so check it out if you're into that sort of thing. Story 10. Okay, here's a crazy one. LOL, my answer to this question is also this. So, my grandpa died when he was shot on horseback by a political rival while running for governor, the OP's mom says. Nope, great-grandpappy Polly got shot after drunkenly hitting the chief of police with his horsewhip because the chief of police told him to stop hitting his wife, my great-grandma, with the horsewhip. In public, Buddy went to pull his gun when the chief told him if he didn't calm down, the chief would draw his gun. Shocker! Teetotaler chief of police is quicker draw than belligerent drunky McGee. The chief was tried for homicide and manslaughter and acquitted. The trial set precedent for illustrating perfectly what legitimate self-defense is in the eyes of the law. Dumbass, what a fucking legacy. Orphaned your 7 kids, 14 and under. Absolute jackass. Fucked up the family for generations. Ugh, yeah. Sorry about that, man. Story 11. My great-grandma, who I knew had at least 2 more children than we knew of, even as her daughter, my grandmother had a baby who died 5 days after birth. She never said, yeah, this happened to me too. You are not alone. It's been really hard for my grandma to process. One child was born between my grandma and her younger brother. I have his birth and death certificate. He had a name. He died the day after he was born. We found his unmarked grave, and my grandma had a stone placed there which had helped her heal a bit. Around the time of his death, my great-grandma stopped smiling in pictures. There's clear before and after. After we found the first baby, my grandma went through her mom's documents and found a hospital record, not a birth certificate, for a baby girl born apparently healthy. She was born almost exactly a year before my grandma, and that's all we know. The baby would have been conceived after my great-grandparents' marriage, and they had a lot of family support. It seems unlikely the baby was put up for adoption, unless was she disabled and put in a home? Did she die? The hospital is long since closed, not that I would expect to find records so far back. I can't find a related birth record in digitized records. Maybe one day I'll be able to hand check for a missed entry. The cemetery where the other baby is buried has no record of another burial connected to the family. I'm stumped. Well, I definitely hope you find out more. That is a very, very big family secret. So, good luck with your searching. Good luck with all of your searching, really. Story 13. This one's not so bad, but it's a bit fun. Though his life was kind of tragic, wife and child died, and I don't think he ever recovered. My grandmother's brother was arrested for drunk and disorderly, but that's not what made national news. That's just the lead-in. When he was released, he broke into jail, brought all the boys booze, and they got drunk. That made national news and got him prison time in the state penitentiary. For what? Even presidents gotta have a little fun every now and again. Well, that's all, folks. Stick around for Aqua Chick Cupcake Force. I'll be dropping another video sometime next week, but I will see you around. Have a good one.